think we're good. I think we're cooking. I think we're in business. So welcome, welcome, Pilates. No equipment needed, just your mat, yourself. And just a reminder, I think I said this in another class, but the fitness center is, not the fitness center, sorry. The medical center, excuse me, is open, I think, for video tele appointments. So just a quick announcement. Other than that, let's get started. And I decided that this angle that I kind of discovered accidentally is much better because it's like less weirdly in your face and gives us a little distance to the camera. And I just think it will look better for people watching it later, as well as maybe even now easier to see. So I figured out propped up on a chair is apparently the way to go. Awesome. So let's take a seat before we get too into anything. Just sit up nice and tall on our sit bones. Start to engage those legs, flex those feet. Take the arms out, lift the arms up to the top, and send them down. Let's roll our shoulders back. Roll them shoulder and roll them forward. And roll them back one more time. Take our arms up. This time take them out. And let's just gently, don't push yourself because we're not warm. Just kind of let yourself fall over your legs as far as you naturally go. Just wake them up a little bit. Bring the legs back to closed. And let's just wake up our body a little bit more, and then we'll move into some of our Pilates work. So just take a nice stretch to the side. And lift on up. Arm up to the other side. Oh, this feels good. Today is a day where I was doing work at my desk all day, like you guys, because I teach Loves Fitness, obviously with COVID. And it's like, wow, my body hasn't moved all morning. It feels so good to move it. So really important. Let's take our hands on our knees, sit nice and tall. We're gonna take one hand to the back and our other hand to the other knee, the opposite knee, and do a nice twist. Come back center. Bring the other hand towards the back, opposite knee, and twist. And take it center. Let's move on to hands and feet. Hands and knees. Check that you are in alignment with your wrists and your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And let's wake up the abs now with some arching. Still feel a stretch in the rectus abdominis, which is like the center six-pack muscle area, and then round. Do this at your own pace. Breathe in for the arch, breathe out for the round. And then let's find a neutral spine. We're gonna do something today that's a little different than what we've done in past, so this might be new. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna first notice where neutral is and find what that feels like. So are we out of sitting into our shoulders? So this, not this. This is like literally very much sitting to the shoulders. Are we letting our body drop and creating an arch? If so, tuck in and engage those abs. And what we're gonna do is literally just take our back leg out without moving anything else and flex our foot. So we're in half a plank, magically. We're gonna take our leg and lift it up no higher than the level of our hip, so that we're not arching the back, but we're just gonna lift it and lower it and hold ourselves nice and still with the rest of our body. If you notice that you're starting to arch in the back, take a second and zip the ribs in, and then come back to that neutral position. And we're growing. Hello, somebody that's coming. I can't see from here. And our last one, we're going to stay up, same level. And now we're going to engage and bring our heel towards our butt and engage some of the muscles in our legs for 10. Again, while we're doing this, we're still holding the rest of our body very stable, very strong. To allow this movement to happen on its own. And now our last thing is we are going to turn our leg out and bring it back from the hip. Again, everything should be held stable except for this one moving part. Straighten that leg. Take the leg down this time, and then we're going to come into a modified plank, so you can swivel the lower part of your leg wherever is comfortable for your hip, but do make sure that you are aligning your wrist and your shoulder on this side. And we're going to keep our foot on the ground and take our arm up to the sky, which might be out of the frame of the camera, but you can imagine my arm is here. And we're going to gently twist under you and then bring up. And this is going to engage the obliques a bit. Twist under you and raise. We'll do this for 10 and then we'll do the other side. Everything on the other side, because we did a lot of stuff. But we'll come into a child's pose in the middle because I know it's a lot on our wrists. This is 8, 9, and 10. Let's come on down into a child's pose, and like I said, just give your wrists a moment of, I'm just seeing how many we have, so that when I have to give a count, I know. We have 4, okay. So come on down into your child's pose. Hang out here for a second. If you want to roll the wrist, especially on the hand that was doing the side plank, feel free. Let's take a second before we do the other side. Stretch those fingertips out nice and long. Bring the hands to the shoulders. Clasp them behind you, shoulders down and back. And just let's give ourselves a little stretch before we take it up one more time for the other side. Oops. And bring it down. Let's take one more second here just to kind of relax. And let's rise back up into all 4s. So again, back where we started, magically make sure you have good alignment, shoulders over wrists, hips and knees aligned, not sinking into the shoulders, sinking out, coming out of the shoulders. I don't know why I love showing the wrong way. I think it's just very visual and you can really see what it looks like. Again, make sure that you're in a neutral spinal position, so this would not be neutral, nor would this be, but somewhere in the middle where you are making a relatively flat back. And this time we're gonna take the other leg out, flex it straight into almost like half a plank, right? If you were to take the other leg out, you would be in a magical full plank immediately. And what we're gonna do is, again, while keeping this neutral spine, lift and lower 10 times, only to the height of around your hip so that you can focus on keeping the rest of you stable. And be mindful if you think that you notice that you're starting to lose that neutral, and then make any adjustments. So if you find that you're sinking, zip those ribs up. If you find that you're arching, take them down. Head in line with the body. It's very tempting to look at your hands. I feel like I do that a lot, but keep your head in line. Let's do one more. Keep it here. Check that you're neutral. And now bend that leg back so that you are moving it towards the buttocks and engaging those quads and stretching them a bit and engaging the hamstrings. We're doing 10 of these here. This is 7. And 10. Bring it back to the bent position. I know that like I drilled to the other side, so it's hard to see on this side, but I can turn around so you can see. I'll turn around. We're just opening up. Move the hip to the side. So we're just kind of rotating. So it's a little bit like a clamshell movement that you might do with a band, just kind of in a different plane of motion and a little fancied up and just a bit different. This is 7, 8. Hold the rest of your body steady. 9 and 10. Straighten it out, bring it down. We're going to come into that modified plank again. The knee and the bottom can be rotated any which way that is comfortable for you, wherever your hip feels the happiest. Check that you at least though have stacked wrist, shoulder, other shoulder, and then come on up with your hand above your head. My arm is straight above, and we're going to bend down and then rise up, and this is going to work the obliques. And try and keep those hips from coming with you, because that really engages the obliques. Because if you just go like this, then you're sort of not moving the abs as much. So try and keep the hips facing front while you just move through with your upper torso. Let's do 2 more. And let's come down with some control. And we're going to come onto our backs. So that was a lot of wrist work. And I feel like you don't realize it, then all of a sudden you're not a happy camper. So we're gonna come down. If you'd like to kind of roll down with control into it, you can. You just kind of want to flop onto your back and meet me there for the ab work, you can do that too. I will not judge. In fact, I can't see anyone, so I definitely won't judge. Not that I would, but I can't see you, so. Maybe you guys are all sipping lattes and just watching me do the workout, but I suspect you're all doing it. Okay, cool. So bring your legs to tabletop. Check in with yourself. Your back has a natural arc to it in your lumbar spine, your lower back, your lower spine. That's normal. You just don't want it to be overly arching because that puts strain on it. So you want to think about pressing into the floor a little bit with your belly button to neutralize and minimize that curve. It may not be 0, but it shouldn't be like zoop, a lot. Legs in tabletop, arms above our head. And we're going to take one leg out. Notice I'm keeping the feet at the same height. And I'm going to move the arms behind me, not touching them to the ground, but bringing them as low as I can, and then lifting. At the same time that I take them out. I mean the legs out. Holding nice and steady through the core. Ab workouts are my favorite, especially the stuff on the back, because it's like, I feel like other strength workouts for me feel like work, and for some reason ab workouts feel more like playtime or rest, probably because we're on our back for them. So even though you're doing work, it's kind of like relaxing. Probably why I do more ab workouts than other workouts. Keep it going. Again, really move those arms back to get that counterweight. And make sure you're breathing. Monitor that. Are you breathing? Let's do one more on each side. And take those knees in and hug them to your chest. Give your lower spine, your sacrum, a little bit of a massage. And awesome. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to do something that engages both arms and legs, which you have enough room. So we're going to be doing basically like sort of like swimming arms in reverse and taking our legs out and in. So we're going to come up, tucking in like we're in a ball. Then breathe out, take your arms and legs and extend. Then bring the arms around as you bring the legs back in. Up to you how far you want to bring the legs down. I'm taking it a little higher this time, so you could go there. You want to make sure that you keep your legs at a level to which your core can support them and your lower back can stay in a healthy position where it's not arching and then putting you in a strained position. So for you, like if you find that your back starts to arch as you lower them, then just take them higher so that you're working in a place that's safe. I guess these aren't really swimming arms. They're like very liberally close to the breaststroke, but like not really. I guess because they're a circle. I think they're sort of a swimming-esque. Make sure you're breathing. I'm breathing out as I extend and then in as I come to the center. You can do a few more. So keep hanging in there. You can do 10 more. You can do it. You've been quarantined for 3 months. That's really hard. We can do the sit-ups. Every time I think something is hard, I remind myself of how hard this has been, and it's kind of like, okay, maybe I can do this. Those are last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower down with control. Take a quick rest for a second. Before we do our next thing, let's just take a moment and give ourselves a nice stretch across our chest because we're all hunched and working a lot. So just take your arms to a goalpost position and just let them float back. Well, this is our rotator cuff, but we will stretch out our chest as well. This is our rotator cuff and our shoulder. But all of these things kind of get slouchy. Take it up and lower to the front. You might go less far in the front, that's okay. Just keep it 90-degree angle between your upper and lower arm. So that you're stretching in a good way. And then let's just take the arms up and lower them into a T. Depending on how tight you are, you might feel a slight stretch across your chest. You might not because they can't go under the ground. So like there's a limit to where they can go. But just take a second and feel nice and long at the very least. Amazing. All right. So we are going to do some roll-ups. For now, excuse me, we're gonna bring our feet onto the ground, our legs a little bent. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to seated and then gently lower down. If this is feeling like too much, you don't have to go all the way to seated. You can always lift your head and chest and roll down. So you can always take a smaller range of motion and do that with control and gain strength there, like this, if sitting up all the way is not feeling like an accessible thing at the moment, that's okay. But either one will still get you going. Be a good workout for those abs. You can also, if you'd like, if you're doing the partial range of motion, you can switch so that you're doing the other half of it. If you're not going through the whole thing smoothly, that way you end up strengthening all parts of the range of motion, even if you're just breaking them up into 2 pieces as opposed to doing it in 1. After this, we're going to go into bicycles and do some oblique stuff. So that's what's coming next. Let me just check the time. 1:20, oh my gosh. In my head, we had way more time than that left. It goes so quickly. All right, let's do 2 more and then we'll do our bicycles. So 1 more and then 1 last one, which will be 2 more. All right, let's come down. So we're gonna take our legs in, take our arms behind our head, lift up our head and our chest, and then take one leg out and then the other while adding a twist to the side. Make sure you're actually twisting with your torso and not just moving your arm, because it might look like you're doing it, but then you're not getting any benefit. So then that's, not getting you any benefit. So take one leg out, twist up and over. So your arm goes for the ride, but make sure that your torso is also starting the ride. Same thing here, really being conscious of your lower back. So if you find that it's arching or it's uncomfortable, take those legs higher. There's no shame in taking them higher so that you are using good form. And twisting. And I think, let's see, we might have time to then do bridges, maybe some stuff for our back, and that probably will take us to around 1:30. Because time flies when we're doing abs. Says me. You probably know whatever. Keep going. Again, check in as you're getting a little tired. Are you still lifting and twisting so that you're engaging the obliques and not just making this about the front of your abs? Are you twisting and taking it to its full extent, the exercise? Let's do a few more. And let's do one last set. And let's gently relax and lower down. All right. So we don't have a ton of time to do as much bridge stuff as I wanted, but we will do a little bit. So take your feet about hip width apart, and we're gonna press down through our heels as we lift up our pelvis. Let's today come up in one movement as opposed to coming up in like a very rolling vertebrae way. Let's just come up as one piece and then lower as one piece. So that's where we'll take it today. Press through those heels to send yourself up. Straight up and down. Keep breathing. Let's do 10 more. That was 10. So we're gonna go back to 10 so we get 20 in total. And after this, we're gonna go onto our backs for some exercises. I mean, on our backs, sorry, our stomachs, we're on our backs. Hopefully you knew what I meant. All right. Last 2. And last 1. Hold it, come down, and let's gently roll over onto our stomachs. Cool stuff. All right. A little time for some of this fun work. So, let's take our arms out to the side. First, we're just gonna lift a little bit into a baby cobra, just to feel a bit of the range of motion. So my shoulders and my elbows are roughly in a line. Now we're gonna do something like that, but use our core and our back as our powerhouse. So rather than our arms. If you're feeling like that's not accessible today, you can always just continue practicing your baby cobra with shoulders down and back. Or if you'd like, you can sort of do the similar thing, but now we're doing it using our back muscles instead of our arms to help us. But the other part is always still an option. Make sure that you are extending and thinking long as you do this, so you don't just crank like in the other way, but like compress your back. You want to think long so that you're not scrunching your vertebrae, and that you're just thinking long. Let's do one more. This time, take the arms into a bit of a swim. This is our much better actual breaststroke arms. See if you can lift yourself a little bit more each time. And gently lower. Rest your head on your hands. We're gonna take our soles of our feet and let them touch and take the knees out a little bit. Pressing your hip bones into the mat so you're not like letting them come off, you're pressing everything in. And then we are going to lift the feet a tiny little bit, utilizing our glutes so we're pressing up and that's engaging all of the stuff going on here. So we're just lifting a little bit and then lowering. We're gonna do a few more. 3 more, 2 more, and our last one. Take them down. While we're down here, grab your foot, give yourself a little quad stretch because we're conveniently in the place for that anyhow. Send it down. Let's take the other leg. Send it down. We're going to move into a child's pose because we just did all that extension, so we want to make sure that we balance ourselves out and make sure that our back gets to round in the opposite way. So come with me to a child's pose. You put your forehead on the floor. I swear, the longer this quarantine goes, probably because I live alone and I don't talk to people as much, I swear that I keep using the wrong words more and more and more. Extend those arms long in front of you. Really press down into those heels. Feel that length across your back. And let's come up and stretch out our glutes. So come into a plank. Take one leg forward, other leg back. Into a pigeon, stretching out our glutes. You can stay up here, or you can round down. Up to you. I'm in the mood to stay up here today. Definitely feel that in your glutes, because we did the bridges and then we did those lifting things while lying on our stomachs, which also definitely gave them a bit of work. Let's bring our hands down. Take that leg back into our plank. We've got 2. Send the other one front. Stretch on the other side. This one is magically much tighter than the first, which happens often where we're one-sided a little bit. We often favor one side and don't even realize it. Let's come back to a seated position and take a couple stretches to finish. So take the hands behind you, open up that chest, bring the shoulders down and back. Take the arms up nice and tall. Stretch out long towards the front with a flat back until you start to feel some stretch in those legs, and then let yourself drop. And we're just wrapping up. I know people have to go, but don't worry, we're like 2 seconds away. Maybe a little more than 2 seconds, but basically 2 seconds. Come on up. Let's just switch the legs because you'll feel it more in the leg that's front. Arms up nice and tall. Hinge yourself forward with a flat back. When you start to feel engagement, just come on down. Come back to seated. Let's stretch from one side, or on one side. Come on up. And to the other, nice and long as we move to the side. We're not scrunching, we're just leaning very long. Let's do a gentle twist. Now we should feel a little more warm to do all this. And twist to the other side. One more, taking the arms up. Nice breath and let it all down. All right, thanks for coming for some abs. If anyone wants to come tomorrow morning, 8:30, we've got something. I think Brian's got a class in like 15 minutes if you're feeling like jazz and want to keep going. Yeah.
Francis.
Bye. Actually, Julie, it's Francis's account. So I don't know if you may not have met all of us.
Thanks, Judy.
But I pretend I'm Francis because we log into hers. I guess like she has it set up the way that we need it to. But have a great one, you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.